Today, I would like to share with you the effect of realizing data search in C4D. First, create the plane and set it to Z-axis orientation. Set the view to Goro shading lines and set the appropriate segmentation parameters. Finally, cancel view work plane display. Explorer search random selection capsule tool and subdivision capsule tools. First, assign the randomly selected capsule tool to the plane child. The default mode is polygon face selection, and the percentage of random selection can be set. Then specify the subdivision capsule tool as the child after the random selection. Select the two capsule tools of the child. Press Ctrl plus the left mouse button to drag and drop to copy. If you adjust one of the randomly selected seeds, it will cause problems with the subdivision. You must ensure that the number of seeds selected at random is the same. Then you need to split each polygon surface into independent elements and color them. Create a Voronoi fracture and delete the points in the source. Then assign the plane to the Voronoi fracture child. The green display in the view now indicates that the plane is still as a whole, not disassembled. You need to break down the elements with the help of an explosive deformer. Select the deformer to 0 all parameters, and finally set the strength to 0.01. Assign explosion deformers to the final order of plane children. Reopen Voronoi fracture has become a polygon of random color. At this time, the next step of polygon coloring can be carried out. Cancel Color Eyes Fragments option. Add plane effect if Voronoi fracture object is selected. Add random field. Enable color properties. Change the color mode to gradient. Adjust the gradual change of black and white distribution range. Try to adjust it to the feeling of sparse quantity. Turn off view visibility for random fields. Select Voronoi fracture and find the MoGraph selection tool in the menu bar. Press and hold the middle mouse button to set the size of the tool. And finally, press the left button to randomly select the point. Select the automatically generated selection label and check the Use field. Remove the default generated Freeze field. Find the random field created earlier and specify it. Now the default selection range does not match the black and white area of the color. Add a curve filter and readjust the control area. Simply adjusting the range of dark areas of the curve will perfectly match the black and white shaded areas. Finally, you need to turn MoGraph selection into a polygon selection. Manually add polygon selection tags and specify MoGraph selection. Then create the matrix object. Change mode to object. Object selection Voronoi fracture. Change the distribution to polygon center, and then specify the polygon selection. Explorer search constellation capsule node. Double-click to add to scene. The icon displayed in gray with a question mark is a sign that it cannot run correctly. Not sure why my version of the 1st of March 2025 cannot call this capsule tool. I used the 2nd of January 2026 to open the file I made earlier to continue the demonstration. Select the constellation object. Point the source to specify the matrix object. Switch the final output to a line segment and adjust the search distance. A closer look reveals that each point generates several sets of lines, which is not what I want. After my research, I can't use matrices as point sources. Problems can be solved by cloning a single point. Create a clone object to switch mode to object. Object specifies matrix. Create a new cube as a child of the clone object. Select the cube and turn it into an editable object. The shortcut is keyboard C. Switch object mode to point and select all points CTRL+. Right mouse button to select the collapse point. The 4 points of the cube become 1 point. Change the name of the cube to point. Select the clone object and add the connection object. Change the point source of the constellation to the connection object. Now you can see that there are no superfluous repeating lines between the points. To prevent blinking caused by overlapping with the plane when rendering lines, it is best to offset the position. Some people may ask, why not use a tracer? Then I will show you the difference between the effect of using tracer. The matrix object is used as a connected object, and the tracking mode is to connect all points. The tracer produces a complete line, rather than a line effect connected in series according to distance. Now you know the advantages of the Constellation Capsule tool. The current selection of polygonal surfaces is fixed, and it needs to be made to jump randomly. Drive the number of seeds for 2 random selection capsules with Espresso. Selecting the number of seeds to drive and adjusting the parameters will automatically drive the value of another object. If the search distance of constellation is not enough, some areas cannot generate line segments. If the selection point is inconsistent with the black and white display of the surface, it is necessary to adjust the gradual change of position. Timeline records seed count at frame 0. 90 frames record the number of seeds after adjustment again. Hold the timeline to watch the animation effect. You can see that there are some areas where the lines are not connected. Adjust the search distance to solve the problem. Finally, set the material and render parameter settings. First, create a default material ball and assign it to the Voronoi fracture object. First, load an image and cancel the reflection channel to observe the basic shading effect. First, the vertical direction of the picture is reversed, and the plane parameter is adjusted to -z. Now the axis of the line offset is reversed, and the position parameters of the matrix need to be adjusted. Enable Octane IP a rendering window and split 3D view in 2. Create Octane diffuse material balls. Double-click the Octane shader ball and open the shader node edit panel. Lock the node window to the bottom of the software. Search for image map nodes and connect to the diffuse channel. Select the material ball to cover the original material label. Select the image map node to create a projection node. Map projection change to distorted mesh UV. Continue to add the MG color shader node and connect to translation. Adjust the XY value to see the effect of the offset. Select the image map node and copy. Search for Mix Map Nodes. Mix the previously created nodes. Amount input select MG Color Shader node. You also need to add inverted nodes. Now you can see the effect of the picture being offset and mixed with black and white information. Connect the map to the emission channel. Check surface emission and change the power to 0.1. Create the Octane environment map and change the emission to 0.5. Select the image texture nodes at the same time to replace the footage. Continue to adjust the X/Y value of the offset. Pull the timeline and feel that the picture effect is currently no problem. Select the constellation object and add the Octane object tag. Check the box render hair and set the bottom and tail thickness to 0.5. Creating diffuse material balls to constellation. Add emissions and set power. Add W coordinates to transparent channels. Replace a single image with a picture sequence from animation. Switch to the animation bar and click Calculate to automatically identify the sequence frame range. Pull the timeline to confirm that the sequence animation is loaded correctly. Create a camera and adjust the rotation angle and position. Octane IPR click to lock render size. Adjust Octane camera label parameters. The project has ACES turned on by default. If Octane also uses ACES, the output image will be inconsistent with the preview. Requires a manual switch to a traditional RGB workflow. Switch the renderer to Octane and render an image for comparison. Adjust the sample settings for Octane DL mode. This is the picture effect rendered with the correct parameters. Finally, compare with the wrong setting. The difference in the final image is still huge, so be sure to pay attention to this trap. And that's all for today's instructional video. I hope this video of mine has some inspiration for your future work and study. See you in the next video.